To understand why Lucky Luciano ordered the hit on Bugsy Siegel, you need to understand what Las Vegas meant to the mob in 1946. Las Vegas was supposed to be the future, a place where organized crime could operate openly, legitimately, build hotels, run casinos, make money without hiding from the police. It was Meyer Lansky's vision. Meyer had been thinking about Vegas since 1941. He'd seen the potential. The desert city where gambling was legal, where tourists came to lose money, where the mob could control everything from the hotels to the dice tables. But making that vision real required two things: money and someone to run it. The commission agreed to invest. They pooled money from all 5 New York families: Chicago, Detroit, Miami, Cleveland. Everyone contributed. The total was $6 million. A fortune in 1946, and Meyer chose Bugsy Siegel to run the project. Bugsy was perfect for the job. He was charming. He knew Hollywood. He had connections with movie stars and businessmen. He could sell the dream of Las Vegas to investors and tourists. And most importantly, Bugsy was Meyer's best friend. They'd grown up together on the Lower East Side, started their first gang together when they were teenagers, built their criminal empire side by side. Meyer trusted Bugsy with his life, but Meyer made a fatal error. He trusted Bugsy with the mob's money. Chapter 1. The Flamingo. Construction on the Flamingo Hotel began in December 1945. The plan was simple: build a luxury hotel and casino in the middle of the desert. Make it so spectacular that people would drive from Los Angeles just to see it. Open in 6 months. Start making money immediately. But nothing went according to plan. Bugsy was in charge of construction, and Bugsy had no idea how to manage a project that size. He hired expensive contractors. He changed the design constantly. He demanded the finest materials: imported marble, custom furniture, crystal chandeliers. The budget exploded. What was supposed to cost $1 million ballooned to $6 million. Meyer Lansky kept sending money. He believed in the vision, believed in Bugsy. But by mid-1946, Meyer started hearing rumors. Bugsy wasn't spending the money on construction. He was spending it on his girlfriend, Virginia Hill. Virginia was a former Chicago mob associate who'd moved to Los Angeles and caught Bugsy's eye. She was beautiful, ambitious, and expensive. Bugsy was obsessed with her. He bought her a mansion in Beverly Hills for $500,000. He bought her jewelry worth $200,000. He threw parties that cost $50,000 each. And he was stealing from the Flamingo construction budget to pay for it all. Meyer confronted Bugsy in August 1946. They met at the construction site in Vegas. The Flamingo was half finished. Workers were everywhere. But Meyer could see the problems. Shoddy work, cheap materials mixed with expensive ones, money being wasted. Bugsy, we need to talk about the budget. What about it? You've spent $6 million and the hotel's not even half done. Where's the money going? It's going into construction, Meyer. You see all these workers? You see this building? That costs money. I see a building that should have cost $2 million and you've spent $6. I see custom chandeliers that cost $50,000 each. I see marble that came from Italy when there's perfectly good marble in California. And I see Virginia Hill wearing a $200,000 necklace that the commission paid for. Bugsy's face went red. What are you saying? I'm saying you're stealing from the project. You're using mob money to fund your lifestyle. And if the other bosses find out, they're going to kill you. Bugsy stepped closer to Meyer. You threatening me? I'm trying to save your life. The Flamingo needs to open on time, and it needs to make money. If it doesn't, you're dead. Bugsy, we're friends. We've been friends for 30 years. But friendship doesn't protect you from this. If you lose the commission's money, they'll kill you. And I won't be able to stop them. Bugsy's voice was cold. I'm not losing anyone's money. The Flamingo's going to open in December. It's going to be the biggest success in Vegas history. And everyone who doubted me is going to look like a fool. Meyer wanted to believe him, wanted to believe his friend wasn't betraying him. But Meyer Lansky was the smartest man in the mob. And he knew Bugsy was lying. Chapter 2. The Disaster. The Flamingo Hotel opened on December 26, 1946. It was supposed to be the grand opening, the event that launched Las Vegas into the modern era. Bugsy invited every celebrity in Hollywood, movie stars, directors, producers. He promised them luxury, glamour, a night they'd never forget. But the weather didn't cooperate. A rainstorm hit Vegas on opening night. The roads were muddy, flights were canceled. Most of the celebrities didn't show up. The ones who did found a hotel that wasn't finished. Half the rooms weren't ready. The casino floor was incomplete. The restaurant wasn't fully operational. It was a disaster. And worse, the Flamingo started losing money immediately. The casino games weren't rigged properly. Dealers were inexperienced. High rollers came in and won big. In the first week, the Flamingo lost $300,000. Bugsy panicked. He shut down the hotel in January 1947. Said he needed to finish construction. Said he'd reopen in March. But the damage was done. The commission had invested $6 million, and they were getting nothing in return. The bosses started asking questions. Where did the money go? Why isn't the hotel finished? Why are we losing money? And someone told them about Virginia Hill, about the mansion, the jewelry, the parties, about how Bugsy Siegel had stolen from the commission to fund his love affair. Meyer Lansky got the call in February 1947. It was from Lucky Luciano. Lucky was living in exile in Cuba at the time, deported from America, but still running the commission from across the water. Meyer, we need to talk about Bugsy. Lucky's voice was calm but firm. What about him? The bosses want him dead. They think he stole from the Flamingo. They think he's been skimming. Meyer's heart sank. He's not skimming, Lucky. He's just bad at managing money. He overspent. But he's not stealing. Meyer, I've seen the numbers. $6 million, and the hotel's not finished. Where did the money go? Construction costs. Lucky, building in the desert is expensive. Everything has to be shipped in. Labor costs are high. It's not cheap. Then explain Virginia Hill's mansion. Explain the jewelry. Explain the parties. Meyer couldn't, because Lucky was right. Bugsy had stolen from the Flamingo. Maybe not directly, maybe not intentionally, but Bugsy had used mob money for personal expenses. And in the commission's eyes, that was theft. Lucky continued. The bosses want to vote on it. They want to authorize a hit. I'm calling you first because I know Bugsy's your friend. But Meyer, friendship doesn't protect anyone from this. If Bugsy stole, he dies. That's the rule. Meyer tried one last time to save his friend. Give him until June. Let him reopen the Flamingo. If it makes money, if it starts turning a profit, then we call it even. Bugsy learned his lesson. He won't steal again. Lucky was quiet for a long moment. Fine. He's got until June. But Meyer, if the Flamingo's still losing money, I can't protect him anymore. And neither can you. Meyer hung up, knowing he'd bought Bugsy 3 months to save his life. Chapter 3. The Confession. Meyer flew to Los Angeles in March 1947 to check on Bugsy. The Flamingo had reopened, and to Meyer's relief, it was doing better. The hotel was fully operational. The casino was running smoothly. They were making money. Not a lot, but enough to show potential. Meyer met Bugsy at Virginia Hill's mansion in Beverly Hills. Virginia was there, wearing that $200,000 necklace. Bugsy was relaxed, confident, smiling. Meyer, the Flamingo's turning around. We're going to be profitable by summer. I told you it would work. Meyer wanted to believe him, but something felt wrong. Meyer spent 3 days in Los Angeles. He reviewed the Flamingo's books, talked to the managers, inspected the casino, and slowly, Meyer realized the truth. Bugsy was still stealing, not from construction anymore, from the casino revenue. Bugsy was skimming off the top, taking money before it got reported, hiding it in Virginia's accounts. Meyer confronted Bugsy on the 3rd night. They were alone in Virginia's living room. Bugsy, I need you to be honest with me. About what? About the money. You're still stealing, aren't you? Bugsy's face hardened. I'm not stealing. I'm taking what I'm owed. You're not owed anything. The commission paid for the Flamingo. You're the manager. You get a salary. You don't get to skim. Bugsy stood up, angry. You know how hard I've worked on this? How many 18-hour days? How many times I've had to deal with contractors, inspectors, politicians? I deserve more than a salary. The commission didn't see it that way, and neither did Meyer. But Meyer made one final attempt to save his friend. Bugsy, stop, right now. Stop skimming. Return the money. And maybe I can convince Lucky to let this go. Bugsy's laugh was bitter. I'm not returning anything, and Lucky can go to hell. I built Vegas. Me. Not Lucky, not the commission, me. And if they don't like it, they can try to take it from me. Meyer left Los Angeles that night knowing his friend was going to die, and knowing there was nothing Meyer could do to stop it. Chapter 4. Lucky's Call. Meyer called Lucky Luciano from Miami on June 10, 1947. He told Lucky everything, about the skimming, about Bugsy's refusal to stop, about how Bugsy thought he was untouchable. Lucky listened without interrupting. When Meyer finished, Lucky asked one question. Do you still want to protect him? Meyer's voice cracked. He's my friend, Charlie. We grew up together, I know. But he stole from the commission. He's still stealing, and he's not going to stop. Meyer was silent. Lucky continued. I'm going to make the call, Meyer. I'm going to authorize the hit. And I want you to know, this isn't about punishment. It's about the rules. If we let Bugsy steal and get away with it, every boss in America will think they can steal. The commission falls apart. So Bugsy has to die. Not because I want him dead, but because the system requires it. Meyer understood. He'd built that system alongside Lucky. He'd helped write those rules. And now his best friend was going to die because of them. Do it, Meyer said. Lucky made the call that night. He contacted a crew in Los Angeles, professional hitmen, men who'd never met Bugsy, Men who couldn't be traced back to the commission. The orders were simple. Kill Bugsy Siegel. Make it public. Make it a message. Chapter 5. June 20th, 1947. Bugsy Siegel was sitting in Virginia Hill's living room, reading the Los Angeles Times. Virginia was out of town, visiting family in Chicago. Bugsy was alone, except for a friend sitting next to him on the couch. At 10:45 p.m., a sniper positioned himself outside the window. He was using a .30 caliber military carbine. He fired 9 shots through the window. 4 hit Bugsy in the head, 2 in the chest, 3 missed. Bugsy died instantly. Half his head was blown off. The sniper disappeared into the night. The police found Bugsy's body 20 minutes later. The investigation went nowhere. No witnesses, no evidence, no suspects. The case went cold. Meyer Lansky heard the news at 2:43 a.m. He sat in his office in Miami, crying. Not just for his friend, but for what his friend had become. Bugsy Siegel had been brilliant, visionary, loyal, but greed and love had destroyed him. Virginia Hill disappeared after Bugsy's death. She moved to Europe, lived off the money Bugsy had stolen. She died in 1966. The Flamingo Hotel became profitable in 1948. It became one of the most successful casinos in Las Vegas, the foundation of the mob's Vegas empire. But Bugsy never saw it. Meyer Lansky lived with the guilt for the rest of his life. He'd given Bugsy the money. He'd given Bugsy the opportunity. And when Bugsy betrayed that trust, Meyer had made the call that got him killed. In 1971, a reporter asked Meyer about Bugsy's death. Meyer's answer was simple. Bugsy was my friend. But he broke the rules. And in our world, breaking the rules means death. Even for friends, especially for friends.